Well, I currently find myself in the midst of fighting this silly virus thing that's going down. So, thankfully, the courier has delivered something that might be an interesting project for you guys to check out. I've been thinking about how I power my kayak and all of the things I like to run off it, and then what are my priorities. At the moment, I'm running a 14 amp hour lead crystal battery, which is really good for charge, but I worked out the other day it weighs 4.6 kilos. And when you're paddling for a full day, that's just way over the top in terms of weight. It's just unnecessary. So I got online and researched a little bit and landed through the Viking Kayaks website on the FPV solutions, which will take my power solution from 4.6 to 5 kilos if you put all of the stuff in, down to around about 600 grams. So I'm saving 4 kilos, which is huge in a long day paddling. So I'm going to hopefully film just the swapping out of my old system and then look at what I put in. I think I've ordered everything I need, but I do have a spare part. I think there's one I might have forgotten, but we'll see how that goes. So without further ado, I'll show you my existing setup and then show you what I've bought, and hopefully we'll do a little bit of an install, which I'll edit so it doesn't take forever. So here we go. So my existing system, I have built a little bit of stuff for it, which I'm pretty happy with. So I want to keep the functionality. Inside my little box of tricks here, I made a battery box with 2 switches, one for the fish finder. I don't really know why I need a switch for the fish finder because it should just stay on. But anyway, and then one for a light, which I've wired in through a, don't know if you can see it, there's an E port, a star port with a plug, and then that switches on and off. I'll show you that. It's not very bright at the moment because the battery needs charging, but there it is up there, and I can switch that on and off. You won't really see in the day. And what I've done there is I've sort of wired that up internally, but then not long ago I just put it onto one plug so that the 2 channels, effectively the 2 electric circuits, can go into that. And to unplug it, all I have to do is fight this because it's one-handed. There we go, unplug that and pull the battery box out. So that's 4.6 kilos, quite a lot of complex wiring. I had to solder stuff, I had to use heat shrink tubes and all sorts of stuff, but it's been really good. Mostly waterproof, but it's a sealed battery inside. I never really got around to, probably could have put some grommets into the side here just to seal those holes to make it waterproof, but that's what I'm replacing. 4.6 kilos, even that is a bit of a hike. So now what I'm replacing that with is this FPV power. I've only got 7 amp hours. I've halved what I've got, but I really was never using the full max of the 14. I bought the 14 originally to power a water snake on my very, very old kayak, so I just kept that. So I've gone for 7 amp hour, which should be more than enough just for a day. I'm only running a 7-inch Garmin Echo Map. So that, it's got its charger that it comes with there, which is pretty cool. Little charger inside there. And then I've got a bit of a system that hopefully I can nail today. So what I've got is, these are called pigtails. So I've got a double adapter to do the 2 things that I need it to do, one for the light and one for the fish finder. So that goes in first, and then I have a fuse that will go into the fish finder loop to protect that. The light doesn't really need one, so I've just got a fuse that will go only on the channel for the fish finder. What the light gets that the other one doesn't is a switch. So I'm going to put this switch on the side of my tackle pod so I can turn the light on and off, which will be pretty cool. So that'll just get wired up to that E port on the inside, and hopefully Bob will be your uncle. I did get a couple of waterproofing caps for when things are in storage and I don't want them to get damaged. So that is that. That will be what I put together into the new system. I'll now get stuck into doing that. There's all sorts of crimping and things that I probably don't need to show you because there's enough stuff on the FPV YouTube channel on how to do it. But I'll just do some of that install and show you the finished product. Okay, so now I have wired everything up to go to the fish finder. So I've got, I've just PVC taped that. It should be all waterproof underneath. Then that comes through to our 3 amp fuse, which is complete, oh, try that, eh? Completely waterproof 3 amp fuse. you know what a fuse is, and that comes to one connection. Sorry, do that, it's a little easier. So that goes there, and then this one goes to my light with no fuse on it, so that's all right because the light's not going to be a huge draw, and I can turn it off. Now all I need to do is put the switch in for the light, so I'll do that now. So this is the switch that goes on the side, and I need to drill a hole, and it doesn't come with a label, but I've just done a bit of research on the FPV website, and it should be 16 mil. They said 16 or 20. It definitely doesn't look like 20, so I will find a way just to roughly measure, but I'm pretty sure it's 16 mil is the hole I need to drill. And then I'm going to mount that on the side of my tackle pod, somewhere probably around here. Just because I'm thinking if it's on the top and there's any standing water, it could go in. It's not going to leak because this is designed to be waterproof. It's got like this little foam that will stop it from being a problem. But if I put it on the side here, below the hinge, I reckon that's probably a good spot just to turn my light on and off. This is just a press in, press out switch for on and off. So I'm going to do that now. Alright, so all going to plan. This should all now be working very, very nicely. And let's test it out. Here we go. There we go. The fish finder's turning on nicely. And here we go. The button happily installed on the side. And I think I must have wired it badly before, because look at this. Here we go. Push button. Oh, on, off. Ah, that's pretty good. And then that's still going. So I actually made this as well. This is a bit of a Heath Robinson job. Heath Robinson in New Zealand is what we say for something a bit homemade, you might say, a bit DIY. This is just a whole tube of LEDs that I wrapped inside an empty container and put the wiring up, and it goes all the way down. I siliconed them in so they kind of stay in place. But it's pretty bright, I'll be really honest. If you have a little look at that, we'll turn it on, nice and easy now. Whoa, that's cool. And we'll agree to that, and then we open up this again, and you'll see how little space. That's the tiny battery now, powering all of that. It goes all the way down the back of the, freeing up all of this space, compared to how massive that was and how heavy it was. Weighs literally next to nothing now. Now I just tuck all the wiring down the back, and I've got some space back in my tube. So there we go. Thank you to the FPV pack. One last time, because I'm a bit excited about the little button. Just on. There she goes, bright as a day. Hope that's been real helpful. If you have any questions of things that I sort of found out along the way, feel free to give a comment below, and I'll give you a bit of a rundown on what I thought and how you might like to do it too. And I didn't forget the extra part. I've made it all work with everything that I bought, which is good. All up, that was around about 250 bucks, but for the lightness, absolutely worth it. And if you want to buy a 14 amp hour liquid crystal debate, you know, there, if you want to buy that, I'll sell it to you. Really easy. Get in touch. Thanks heaps and have a great day.